I'm going to share my screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through two experiences during this demo. The first one is going to be first from a customer perspective or a patient, and I'm going to walk you through their process of coming to our website, seeing what we have to offer, scheduling a session, and then I'll switch over into the practitioner mode and show you how that session takes place and walk you through the practitioner backend. I am just going to our website. So this is the front end. This is what customers see when they come to our site. This real estate right here in the top center here, this is where we have different ads running, different promotional information. So this is where, this content will rotate depending on different promotions or different things that we want to be featuring. But each one gives an opportunity in all of the different categories. Say somebody's interested in becoming fit, or someone is interested in seeing a practitioner, or here is one about be well. It always gives an option for a virtual session or to see our online programs. Our website, we just have obviously the about section, which talks about us, our mission and vision, and the founders. And we have programs and services. So we wanted the user experience to have the option of addressing two different types of content needs. Some customers have the need to go directly to what they want, click a button, buy now, click a button, see a practitioner now. And we wanted that to be available for people who don't want to read a ton of information, but we also wanted to provide an opportunity for those who like to do a ton of research and really dig deep before they make a decision to sign up for something. So we have the how it works, session pricing, see a practitioner now, online health and wellness programs. But again, on every single page, there are always going to be buttons to just jump in and schedule a session. So that way it addresses the customer need, whether they're the type that wants to get right to the information or they want to do a deep dive. And then we also have, a tab here that says how we help, and it goes over a list of what we treat and our approach and how to join. So it talks about different specialties, and if you click each one of these issues, that we support, it gives a lot more information. So again, a patient can determine specifically how they want to get supported. So a customer can come on their own, find a program or a practitioner that meets a need that they have identified within themselves, or they can also be directed by their practitioner. Talks about our approach, what is integrative health. So it talks about how we have, traditional medicine, alternative health coaching, all of those complementary and alternative. Talks about a holistic approach and the integrative health model. So again, we wanted our site to be very educational in nature, and then instructions on how to join if people wanted to sign up for a membership, or if they wanted to see a practitioner. That is under the See a Practitioner Now. Then our online health and wellness programs. We have both of the two different options. One is going to be those online pre-recorded programs or courses, and the other one is going to be those memberships to taking all different types of fitness classes, wellness classes, education classes, healthy cooking classes, for example. So here are some of our health programs: crisis care, depression, cancer, fibromyalgia. So you see we have quite a few programs. They're broken down into sections. We have nutrition, we have fitness, weight loss, coaching, wellness programs that address the whole person. We have heart health, wellness, stress management, mindfulness right now that are up. We have over 100 more hours that are currently in production and should be completed in the next couple of months. And then also our membership section, where someone can decide which membership level they want, which breaks down what type of access they get. So the membership is like, if you can imagine a Netflix for health and wellness. Pay a subscription fee. There's different levels of content access. Like our highest level also gives you access to all of the programs as well. Um, but the bottom access just gives you access to our library of original content, health, wellness, education, fitness classes, healthy cooking classes, meditation, all kinds of things that help support people's health and wellness. And then we do have a tab for corporate programs because we definitely see a big market of going directly out to large companies as a value add for their benefits package. So corporate wellness is represents a huge market right now. It's one of the ways that large companies are both attracting and retaining quality employees. So we do offer corporate programs, which are corporate part of the corporate wellness benefits package. And there's a couple of different options where there's subsidized, where the company pays part of it and the employee pays part of it, and then a portion where the company pays all of it. And doctors will also be prescribing as part of their follow-up protocol some of our programs additionally. Like, for example, a cardiologist might refer their patient to take our heart health program. So again, we have, corporate programs, become a provider, shop. That's where if somebody wants to cut to the chase, they see we have programs, they just want to shop all the programs, they can click there. We have a blog that also has, a ton of content. Again, we really want this website to be a one-stop shop for everyone's health and wellness needs, right? So healthcare, wellness programs, healthy lifestyle, so lots of information. We'll be, having a blog coming out every 2 weeks. We'll have a monthly newsletter that has a lot of helpful information for healthy lifestyle, things like recipes and little exercises that people can try and different things like that. And then we also have contact, obviously, but I'm going to take you through the process of See a Practitioner now. And then they can either just, again, if they're a cut to the chase kind of person, they can just schedule the button, or they can read all about it. But again, we give them more information, go ahead and schedule a session, or even more information about what we treat, what we don't treat, right? Going through all of this, what is telehealth, telemedicine, telepsychiatry, telecoaching. So it goes through, again, so many options as far as information level. So we have high level people, mid level, deep, and then people who are deep dives. So once they have made a decision, so that's for, if someone comes straight to our website, we've marketed directly to them, and they're, they haven't been referred by their doctor, they probably are going to want to do even more research. Some practitioners are going to just, give their patient, hey, I'm going to see, I'd like to see you for a follow-up session this Friday, or now I'm moving my practice to telemedicine, which a lot of mental health practitioners are doing. And here is the link, just go and schedule a session there, right? So, those people might just come and hit the button directly to schedule with their practitioner. I'm going to show you how they would schedule a session. So we have broken down all of the different modalities and practitioners into 4 categories: traditional medicine, natural, complementary, and alternative, health and life coaching, trainers, fitness instructors, and nutritionists, and mental health practitioners. So, if you click on one, you're able to read more about that and then able to go ahead and select a service, a 15-minute consult. And then this part is where they would then click on it, the doctors, and they get a pop-up with a short bio, a photo, and then they can read more. Okay, great. This person, I feel safe. This person looks like, yes, somebody that I want to see. I'm going to go back to booking. So I'm going to select that doctor. I'm going to select the service. And then I'm going to say, for today, and I'm going to see their availability. So this is where on our back end, each practitioner emails us their availability and any changes to that availability, and our creative team, makes that adjustment so that we're only scheduling patients when that practitioner is available. I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through what that looks like. So I just selected a time. I'm going to say test. So they're going to put in their information. I'm going to fill this out. All right, reason for scheduling. So this is where the patient gets to write in why they are scheduling their session. All right, and I'm going to put in our little coupon code right now. All right, and proceed to checkout. All right, so this is where I have to put in some additional information. United States, my address. And I have to sign a release waiver. And place order. Great. So I see the receipt here, and then I would go to my email. I get an instant email that says, hello, you've scheduled a session. It gives the instructions of how to access that session. So, and then also we get an email that a new session has been scheduled. And also the practitioner will get an email stating that they have a session scheduled. So then the practitioner will just enter, both the practitioner and the patient will enter their virtual office, and the patient will enter the virtual waiting room when at the time of that session. I'm going to now navigate away from our front end, and I'm going to take you through the virtual office experience from a practitioner side. So, the practitioner will log in. All right, so I've signed into my practitioner portal or my virtual office, and I'll give you a full tour of some of the functionality that doesn't relate to patients in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into this patient session. So we have two options. One is scheduling a session, but the other is entering virtual care, which is critically important right now with so many people ill and just flooding the primary care physicians with questions and issues and concerns with the coronavirus. So we have a virtual care feature which allows patients to just go ahead and enter a queue to see the next practitioner in their state. So we've got somebody in the queue right now, and I'm going to go ahead and start this. All right, so his visual will pop in just a moment. There we go. Hi, Blake.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being our virtual patient today. All right, so Blake can see me, I can see him. I'll walk you through a little snippet of what a session might look like. But first, I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of the tools that you're seeing here that a practitioner can use. First of all, when he signed up for this session, he gave a mini intake. This is not his full client history. That's in his profile. But this is just what he's experiencing today. So we can see the symptoms. He's also signed another consent to treat for today. Every session has to have a little click off of consent to treat. It's just our double, safety net that we have. And then again, he's listed his symptoms, what is going on with him. And once I review that, I can also click and see his full profile, his medical history. He could have added all right here, allergies, medication. And he can also add caregivers or other preferred providers on our network so that, let's say, Dr. Wright was his neurologist. I could actually, do a follow-up and pop Dr. Wright a note or share files in this HIPAA compliance format with the patient's permission, of course. I can also message the patient. So if I say that he should consider taking L-lysine, 1,000 milligrams, that's something that in a traditional, face-to-face session, a practitioner is telling a patient, they're trying to remember it, and they're like, oh, could you write that down for me? And then quite often a patient may not even be able to read their handwriting. So this is a wonderful feature where a doctor can just pop them a message that they see instantly. Then we have this up here, which is called SOAP. This is the session notes. And this is amazing. This saves practitioners so much time, so much money. It's a virtual notes that's all digital, and it stores. So any notes that I'm making on Blake's session today, as well as what steps are for his follow-up plan and care, all get stored. So I can always, anytime I want to look up that patient or I want to do a follow-up session, I'm going to have all of my session notes over time so I can refer back. I also have the ability to share some files that I pre-loaded in. Maybe I'm a nutritionist, and so some of the handouts that I have are healthy eating guidelines and tips, or specific allergy foods to avoid. So I can, access those and send those over to Blake. I can also share with him, if I'm a doc, I can share with him a prescription or my super bill. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the intake just so that I have these symptoms in front of me. We've got, the duration, so we can keep an eye on the time, because if someone is doing a session, we know that they've paid for a specific amount, or if it's a virtual care session, it might be a 15-minute consult. So again, we have this time ticker that helps the practitioner stay on track. Let me move this up a little. Okay. So I can also make this full screen if I want to see more details. For example, if I'm a dermatologist, I might make this full screen so I can better see. And Blake may have said, hey, I have a rash on my left arm. So I could say to Blake, can you please pull up your sleeve and hold your left arm up so that I can see this rash? Thank you very much. And just go ahead and hold that there. So this is his left arm. I'm going to use this tool right here, and I'm going to be able to actually write on the screen a note. So I will be able to have that, and then I can come over here and take a photo. That photo is then going to be stored down in the patient visual files. So I'll be able to access that at any time. So I can either view it. Thank you, Blake. You can go ahead and put your arm down. Or I can throw it away, or I can view it. So as long as I don't delete it, it's going to stay in Blake's visual patient records. I can also ask him, to move closer, stick out his tongue, open his mouth, for example, all different types of things. I could do an assessment of his range of motion if I was an ortho or a physical therapist, for example. There's also other tools. I can change the color of what I'm writing in. I can also just go ahead and use the different shapes. For example, if I wanted to say, that it was over here, right? I can add that. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete those and delete what I had previously written so that I can clear that. I can also type directly on his, his visual, right? So I can type in complaining of headache, right side, right? So I can actually create a combination of a visual and a text message. Yes, and so I'm going to throw that away, but I could have also chosen to screenshot that and add that down into the visual patient records. The other cool feature is participants. So we can invite different guests into this session. This is a wonderful feature for any type of practitioner who does couples or family counseling, for example, and we want to have, multiple family members in a session together, or, a husband and wife, or two partners, for example. We can add them into the session here. The other wonderful use of this is for group instruction. So group fitness instruction, group nutrition instruction, group therapy. We're one of the only platforms that can have up to 6 patients inside of a session at one time. Okay. So again, that's wonderful, especially for group therapists. Okay. And then I can also share my screen. So a lot of times, a doctor or a practitioner is going to be doing some research, and instead of having to get back to the patient, they can just go ahead and do a screen share, pull up, the internet, do whatever search, find the information, and then screenshot that and message it directly to the patient in real time, as well as add that to their patient records so that the practitioner remembers what information they've resourced that patient with in the future. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Blake. We appreciate it. All right, so Blake's gonna leave the session. I'm gonna end the session. And then I end the visit. And I get to mark this visit as complete, unresolved, or open. So I'm gonna mark that as complete. Beautiful. So up here, there's some additional functionality. This is where I can chat with any other provider on our network. So for example, if I have a follow-up session with a patient who has ADHD and I'm a mental health practitioner, I might want them to see a nutritionist to get some support in their gut health, for example. So I have this session and I want to make sure that they get resourced. So I could just quickly jump on here and select a provider and send them a quick message on our network. So, I need to refer out to a nutritionist. I can just pop a message to, a nutritionist and say, hey, I have a patient who I'd like to refer over to you. What's your schedule look like this week? Are you available? And they might say, hey, I'm out of town for the next 2 weeks, but I can see them in April. Here's my scheduling link, right? So it's a great way of just quick reference, quick referral, quick resourcing. And then also there is the patient queue. So I can just go ahead and see, I have it in the patient queue mode right now, because if I had booked myself as scheduling myself as available in the urgent care, that means I am saying I'm available to students all day as they show up in the virtual waiting room. And so just like you had seen when we started this, Blake, his session popped up right here. So right now there's no on-demand consultations, but when someone enters that virtual waiting room, it pops up there and they just all sort of stack, one on top of the other. And it gives you the average wait time, and it shows that as well to the people in the waiting room so that they have a clear expectation and they know they can either wait or not wait. And there's also a ticker on each individual person in the waiting room so the practitioner can see how long they have been waiting. Again, this is just a quality care checkpoint. And then there's a scheduler here, which allows me as a practitioner to set my availability. Or I can also have my, if I have an assistant, a nurse, an admin person, a front desk person, whoever is doing my scheduling can, access and create my schedule for availability as well. Let's go back to this area here. Okay, so let me walk you through what we call our customer dashboard looks like. Okay, so I'm a returning customer. I have, or I've just purchased a membership, or I've just purchased a program. I can log in and access that at any time. So I have a customer dashboard. So the customer dashboard is here. It shows all of the courses or programs that I'm enrolled in. So I'll just kind of walk you through this one program really quick. And I won't take you through all of the content, but this is just an example. This is our balanced diet program. We anticipate that this is going to be an important one. So this one, has 9 lessons that, it leads you through an education on how to eat right. And then you can click on each of the lessons, and each of the lessons, and this is something important that goes with all of our different programs, is that there are downloadable resources, tools, exercises, For example, a downloadable food shopping list, or a, downloadable easy meal prep plan. This one has in the first lesson has a downloadable self-assessment. So all of our programs have audio, video, as well as downloadable documents and resources to help them succeed in whatever the subject matter or the condition is that the program addresses. So I'll just kind of. So all of our programs open up with, that video, and then it goes into the specific program.
Lesson 1, Nutrition, Myths, and Fad Diets. In this lesson, you will learn how to identify fads. We'll talk about the car analogy, as well as the concept of what's right for your body.
All right, so that's kind of an example of the program. Again, each lesson has a video as well as downloadable resources. So then inside of the account, you have my courses and my account. This is where they can update their credit card information, their contact information, change their email address. This is where if they wanted to upgrade from one membership to another, they could do that. There's a lot of value adds with our memberships and our pre-recorded programs to help support patient outcomes. We also have that unique aspect where a lot of other platforms don't have the ability for group sessions. So that's another benefit. And then also the financial benefit of being able to either do the cash pay model or the insurance reimbursement, whichever works best. And then the additional financial benefit of you pay one flat fee, that's it for your first year, and there's no additional fees. So see as many patients as they want, and is all cash in hand for them.